What's up, guys? It's KingDaddyDMAC, and welcome back to another episode of Fade the Beast. Oh yeah, baby. On the Hermitcraft server using the ultimate pack. And you know what? We've been doing a lot of force field stuff lately, and I thought we could move on to another mod that I had talked about doing a long time ago, and I finally want to get around to doing it. Anyway, before we get into that, let me just show you a couple neat things. Yeah, I expanded over here our red power area with our blue electric furnaces. Now I have, let's see, I had before just the brass being cooked up. Now I actually have all the stuff needed to make all the different types of ingots and what are these called? Wafers and all that sort of stuff, all in the AE system. Oh yeah, and plenty of power to get that going. And I also expanded our molecular assembly chamber. So now it has, before I think it had 7, now it has 14 freaking things for auto crafting. And yeah, I put in, let's see, yeah, these are the main ones. All these different red power machines in there. Because man, these things take a lot to craft. Anyway, you may be guessing already what we're going to be getting into. It was in one of my first episodes, within I think the first 5 of this series. Let's just take a peek over here. Gotta see. Holy moly! Over 100,000 iridium. That's amazing. That is freaking amazing. Now, the last thing we really need is more materials, but I thought this would be fun to do. A fun change of pace. So let's run over here. Let's get into, this is my quarry world, where also I was doing a lot of the bees. And, oh, I don't want to go there yet. Let's go up here. Actually, maybe I do want to go down there. We'll start down there. We'll start down there. Yeah, so look at this mammoth hole, and I actually have one right here. We're going to be working on frame motors and all these red power machine frames and some of the cooler stuff you can do with them. And for one is the tunnel bore, which we showed a long time ago. And I've got another one. Check this out. This is probably the best way to mine. It is a little expensive, but it's only really iron and copper pretty much that you need to make with these, and then some of that red power stuff. But other than that, and then just a whole bunch of wood. Let's actually, I made a portal to go to this with the portal gun. I've been trying to learn how to use those better with these little frame things. I'm still goofing up a bit. These are pretty neat. You can, without having to use a portal gun, just link these up. And there should be a way that I can set it so that they're always off, and then just when I go over a platform, it'll turn on briefly. But I'm still goofing around with that. Anyway, yeah, look at this baby. This so far is probably the biggest one I've built. And these, they have, you can go so big. Like pretty much, I think, from bedrock all the way up to the top of the land. And really mine out pretty fast. I mean, a quarry's really just throw down the quarry, throw down the power, and then the Tesseract or Ender Chest, get it going. But these guys, you're able to go to a specific level. This particular one, I think, goes from bedrock to level, I think, 16 I have it set at. So it should be hitting up all a diamond level. I might be able to go 1 or 2 higher, but I'm not going to fret about that. And anyway, how these guys work, anything that is touching this frame, and you can have tubes inside of the frames and stuff, but anything that is touching one of these frames is going to move along with it. And there's a couple little tricks about it to get it to work. But anyway, what this guy's doing is it is set up on 2 different timers, these 2 frame motors, and these are able to move the entire frame and everything directly touching the frame. Yeah. Then on this side, let's see if we can sneakaroo around here. Yeah, these guys, and it has all in front there, these things, which are called block breakers. They're kind of like pistons, but when they extend, and I don't think you actually see them extend, but if they were to extend, they break the block in front of it, and then it picks up the block and it goes through the tubes and then into an ender chest, which is linked back to my base in the AE system. So let's sort of get this going. I think I have it all set. So if I just flip this switch, yeah, check this out. You can see all the stuff moving through it, and it is just powerhousing through everything. It takes a little bit just for all the stuff to go in, but still, I mean, if you look at this, this is literally like just a minute of it going. And I designed this one so you can actually have it go all the way to the bedrock, and since we're on flat bedrock, don't have to worry about mobs spawning, even though it's dark in here. I could have set this up so that it would set down a torch every so often, so if you were to do it up higher, but pretty freaking nifty and pretty simple, really. So you can see it go, move forward, breaking all the blocks in front, and this is the only way to have it aimed down, break those blocks in the bottom. So that's pretty neat. And then everything is being transferred over in this ender chest. And so far, I haven't seen it get even close to overflowing. I have 2 import buses, I think, on the ender chest on the other side. That seems to be able to handle it, at least at this speed and size. So pretty freaking cool. So this guy right here is pulsing so that it can pulse the block breakers. We gotta, of course, have a chunk loader, and this is set just to 3 chunks, and it's in the Z line. So if I show, let me turn this back off. If I show the lasers on this bad boy, you can see it covers the chunk behind, the chunk a little bit ahead, and this is all within one chunk. In fact, I could go a couple blocks out more in each direction, but this way it makes the minimal effect on the what's generated in the land. And I can pretty much, since I have this wirelessly set up. Oh, crud, no, okay, let's get out of here. I can pretty much just turn this on and off from my base and have it run whenever I want materials. Or I could even set it so that when I was low on a particular material, it would just continue to go. So pretty nifty, pretty nifty. Then we have this other thing going on over here. And this is actually, does require some power from the red power battery. And this is actually exchanging, we can watch it work a little bit, exchanging the batteries out with another, let's turn it back on. Let's turn this laser off. All right, so that's back on. And it's actually going to exchange the battery out. So let's see if we can watch it work at all. Once it gets low on juice. Is it gonna? Okay. Boom. Let's see the battery. It went out. And that's going to another ender chest over here, which is full of batteries. And then it's going to plop over a new battery as needed. So that is pretty neat. And this I'm seeing with red power, since it's able to actually recognize the amount of energy that's in there, we might be able to use this method with some of our MFFS stuff later. And this is just using a retriever and a filter. So this is, I guess there's even more complicated than this, but this is about as complicated as it gets. And there's no real right or wrong way, I guess, to build it. You can make it look all different. This particular way I did it was with just pretty much one single platform, all flat. And let's run over to here. Here's another way of doing it. You can actually have everything set so that there's different sides, and I'm sure there's way more compact ways of doing it. But with this bad boy, it's got the same thing. It's got the setup to swap out the batteries as needed, and then be able to power these two guys. It's got the ender chest for everything that the block breakers, this is what they look like, go and bring it into there. And for this one, all I need to do is set up a wireless setup there, and then this, let's see, this is going to do the block breakers. So if I set out some blocks in front of them, this guy is going to turn that on and pulse the block breakers on a quick timer. And see, it just ate that right up. This one here is going to turn on and off that retriever and filter to swap in and out the batteries. And then this guy here is going to actually move the frame. So on this one, it's on the side. So cool. I love it. Now, they're also, depending on what you're going to want to use these for, I'm thinking of building a couple of these, and I may want to do it also to try and have a platform that moves to constantly suck up lava from a lava world, and I want to even try oil, but this way it can move. If you're in a corrupted Mistcraft age, you can have it continually move and move out of that corruption area. Also, you could, if you want to, do an even simpler one of these. If you're doing one of the lava tricks with the pumps, or if you're even doing this at the top of the world where there's sun, you don't even need the whole battery swapper thing. You could just use solar panels. Let's take a look at one that's like that. A scenario in which you could use that one. All right. So over here. Here's a scenario where you don't even need the battery swapper. And this is not the best because you're going to have to move it, you know, semi-frequently. But if you're sort of beginning game and you just don't have enough materials for everything, you can make a pretty compact one. You could probably do it even a single block maybe, or like a 2x2. But anyway, this one is a 5x5. And that's going to pulse the block breakers. And then this switch up here is going to move the frame. And then we don't have any batteries or anything set up, so there's only one ender chest. And it's going to take the materials and bring it straight up to that ender chest. Then the battery right here is powered by these solar panels. So let's watch this guy go. And of course, the same ender chest that we have everything else linked up into. But look at that. It makes a pretty quick hole. And this is also a pretty easy way if you're trying to dig down to diamond level quickly to build one of these. I think it's pretty freaking neat. And just the applications are endless that you could use these whole frame machines for all different stuff, or just for moving walls or moving houses. It's freaking awesome. I love it. So I'm going to let this guy dig down, I think, all the way to bedrock so that we can steal away some of the materials. And we'll start to look at another way. I think today we'll start off building one that just works with solar panels in another age. And I'll show you why you might want that. So I'll see you guys back. Oh man, do you know what I realized I just did? I didn't just do it. I actually did this last episode when we were playing around with the security station. What's missing? All of our Thaumcraft villagers are gone. Dang it. We switched around the security station last time. Let's just see. Yeah, we switched it around so that it was on the kill. I think we tried kill friendly and hostile mobs when you're trying to kill that wisp. And, killed the dang villagers too. That sucks so bad. Anyway, made a new book, made a new Mistcraft world. I just wanted to share with you what it is. It's in this order. I did plains biomes, just whatever, single biome, endstone. So this should make it all endstone world. I made it then flat, so endstone modified to the flat, normal lighting, star fissure, just in case we ever get stuck, no weather. It's going to be noon, 0 length, normal sun, so it's always daytime. I still don't have a normal moon. Dark moon, normal stars, and clear modifiers, and that's everything. So I've already gone there, checked it out, made sure it was okay. Everything looked good. And yeah, got a chest out here. So Take a wild guess what we're going to do here. Yeah, we've been using our redstone to make all the end stone. And here I thought would be a good place to, it would actually be useful for me to get the end stone for making the helium for a fusion reactor, the helium-3, but also be a good example of making a frame motor tunnel bore they would be able to work off the surface and not have to use the batteries up. So I thought today we could do that. We'll have enough time. And then hopefully next time we can then make one with the batteries that would work underground. By the way, other neat factor. Look at that. We found it already. Iridium is one of the only, I think actually is the only type of ore that can spawn this high up. Look at, we're at level 90 in the flat world. So, and it may be the only ore that can spawn on the surface. I don't know if that's true, but I do know it's the only ore that can spawn this high up in an age. So, whenever you do a flat world, do an end stone, it really sticks out on your mini map so well. And I know I've shown this before. If we back up, you can see that little dot up there? Yeah. So, a really easy way to get iridium with Hermitcraft. In fact, I think it's kind of cheaty. But what does that matter? We have so much iridium. All right, so let's get going on making our tunnel bore. So first things first, we're gonna have to worry. We're gonna have to have something going up to the surface just because of the fact of these libraries. It will obstruct the tunnel bore and our lighting. So we're gonna have it go up to, let's see what height this is, up to 101. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. That being said, I'm not going to worry about digging down a little bit for it just yet. Now, when making a tunnel bore, I do personally prefer to build the actual frame first. And this is basically due to the fact that sometimes you need to make adjustments. Now, let's do this up, actually. I got a little ahead of myself. Let's do this up in the air a little bit more. Let's see. So right about here, and just make a platform maybe 4x5, something like that. And again, there is no correct way of doing this. If you're trying to get the absolute most compact tunnel bore, you might not want to watch this. This is just me freestyling a tunnel bore, not going off of anything that I've even built before, just how they work. We're going to want to get 2 different types of panels with the microblocks. Of course, to do that, you just take your saw, put it in there, goes to the slab, and then it goes to the panel. We're going to want panels, and then we're going to also want covers, okay? And those have 2 distinct different things that they do for these frame motors. So I'm going to be using panels, which is the thicker one, all out of marble, and I'm going to be using all my covers. Those are going to be out of the stone bricks, those circular type of brick things, okay? Let's grab our 2, you need 2 frame motors, and then you're going to want, of course, again, a bunch of support frames, and you're going to want tube frames and redstone tube frames. Let's see, we're going to want 1 battery. We're going to want, in this case, the solar panel, some blue alloy wire, red alloy wire, some levers, a chunk loader, which we'll add in later. Timers, we're going to want a few of those. I think 3 is what we're going to actually use. And then, of course, the block breakers we're going to add in as well. All right, and I think that's good to go for this first thing. Okay, so we have this bad boy here. I think I'm going to do this one all on the top. So let's get our frame motors in place. Now you're also going to want a screwdriver. I have that on my grabby tool. So let's put our frame motors in place. Let's make this a little bit longer. Again, not having a plan ahead of time throws me a little bit through a loop. Not really. Okay, so the first frame motor that we're going to set down is going to be directly onto the frame. Good. Now you're going to take your screwdriver, and we're going to want to turn this until we see the arrow, and this is by holding shift and then right clicking until we can see the arrow on this top side here. Okay, cool. Now that we see that, we don't have to hold shift. We can just right click it, and we want the arrow to face in the direction that we want the tunnel bore to go. Okay, now also notice, see this little thing kind of looks like maybe a clock, the top half of a clock. This is going to be pointing, see that little pointing thing? That's going to always be pointing backwards from the direction you want to go. So between the arrow and that's how you're able to decipher what direction frame motors are. Okay, cool. So next, we're going to directly above this one, we are going to put a cover. Boom. See that? Put down the cover. The cover's the thinnest one. And then next to it, we are going to put down then a panel. Now, the difference between the panel and the cover is basically anything touching a panel is going to move with the frame and stick to the frame. Anything that's touching a cover, it's going to slide right off it. Just like ice or like wax, or I don't know what's a good analogy for that, but anything that touches this is not going to stick to the frame. Okay, anything touching this will. And again, panel, thicker one versus cover, thin one. So now that we have that, we're going to get our other frame motor in place. This is going to go on top of this panel right here. Now this one, that arrow has got to be actually touching the frame, the white thing that we just put down. So we're going to turn this, and for this I find it's easy. See this little vent here? When that vent is on the top side, the arrow is on the bottom side, or in this case, the arrow's on the top, the vent's on the bottom. So let's turn this up. First try, we got it. And then we're going to want the clock thing to be turned so that it's like this. And we want, seeing this little arrow pointing backwards, we know that the arrow on the frame thing is pointed forwards. Good. So what this is going to do is it's going to actually push the frame. And in fact, let's demonstrate this. Where is a lever? I got levers right here. So if we this should work already. If we put a lever on both, and we need to add power to them. Let's see, how should we do that? I think I might be able to just do this. Let's see if this works. So if I press this one first, it should move the frame. See that? It moved the frame and it stayed in place. Now the reason that lever just fell off is because it is not everything has to be touching the frame or touching one of these panels. Otherwise it's going to fall off. So now if we put this one here, it is then going to be pushing off of this block, which is not connected to anything. Actually, you know what? That's wrong. That's wrong. That's frustrating. Hold on. I'm going to knock her off and do this again. No, it was. Oh, my bad, guys. I was thinking there was nothing there. Let's see if I can get this just as quick. So let's shift it till it's upwards. Awesome. Good. So now if we press this bottom one, it's going to be pushing off of this frame motor. And see, it pushes it back this way. And then goes again, pushes the frame over, and then pushes off of this motor and pushes that motor back in place. Now this one's connected to the frame. This one is not connected to anything. So if this kept on going, this motor here would just stay in place and be there pretty much forever. When I just do this one, doesn't do anything. So it's got to be in conjunction with each other. Cool. So we got the battery in place. Now let's throw down some more of these panels so that we can put down some solar panels. And they all have to be in these, otherwise they are going to fall off. So let's throw those down. And as long as the solar panels are touching each other, they will generate power and move it to the next block and then eventually over to the battery. Let's throw down some more of these. All right, that's good. All right, so this should be charging up the battery slowly but surely, and they should all move together with the frame. So let's try this again. That moves it all. And that moves it back. Awesome. All right, so next, we're almost done. Next, let's put in some wiring. Again, we're going to have to put down more panels. All right, boom, boom, boom. And let's do it to here. All right, and then this one as well. Boom and boom. Now we're going to put on the timers. Okay. We're going to want, whoop, see that little red thing right there? We want that facing the machine motor, or the frame motor. And let's put a lever so that we can turn them off right here. And go like that. And let's put the other one right here. Boom. Oh, oh, oh. Come back. Stop running away. All right. Now, as far as timing, you can do it quicker than this, but what I prefer to do is set this one to intervals of every 1 second. And this one I set to, again, it can be lower than this, and this is what will make it go faster. But I like to set this one to 2.6. Okay, so now when we turn this on, it should just continue to go. Boom. Boom. See, isn't that neat? So we've got our moving frame motor. I probably should put, oh, I may not need more solar panels. Nope, that seems to be keeping up pretty well. In fact, I could probably take some off. So there we go. We already have our moving frame motor. Next comes, oh, stop. All right, guys. So now we're going to add in the block breaker part of the tunnel bore. And I decided I'm not going to go up to the, because look at how high this is, 101. That's wasting so many block breakers. In fact, I should have built this submerged into the ground and just dug out a little spot ahead of time, but no big deal for demonstrational purposes. Anyway, next we're going to grab redstone tube frame, and we could probably actually cut off these front spots here, but I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and stick in our tube frames. We're going to want this to be at least, I usually like to have it 2 above, probably 1 would be fine, but we're going to go to there. 2 above what the platform is. So foot level and head level. Then here we're going to go a good bit down. Now something else that I should have pointed out from the beginning, and most of you guys will already know this, but you're better off if you make this all within the same chunk. So if I'm going to hit F9 right now, you can see this all, I already knew that it was in because it's one of the first things I checked. But when doing a tunnel bore, I usually recommend making sure that at least from side to side, you're always within one chunk. And it's going to be passing through chunks, that's okay. But just for chunk loading purposes, you're better off checking that out ahead of time and not building it like halfway in between a chunk. So anyway, let's build this down to about here. And I'm gonna, as far as the width, we could leave it so that it's only just as wide as what this is. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger just so that we can get more end stone out of it. Now I guess, tell you the truth, probably about there. I could probably do this like this. In this way, if it did happen to run into a library, it would cut out enough of the library so that it wouldn't really obstruct. You know what? I'm gonna go like this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And on this side, it was already fine. And let's just do this to ground level like that. Hopefully this will work out. Let's see. You know what? Screw it. I feel like that's a waste, but... two, and then 2. And redstone tube frame. Okay, I know we're running low on time, so let's try and get through this quickly. And this is really the easy part. So now all we're going to do is we're going to throw block breakers all across this, just like this. And they're kind of like pistons, piston looking. They just break the block in front of it. So we're going to have them all facing out. And this way, any blocks they break will go whoop, right into the tube. And they can also be powered by the redstone in the tube. So let me just put these all in and we'll be right back. Alright, so all the block breakers are in place. The next thing we're gonna want to do is get those covers, which I used as the stone brick, those circle bricks, and we're gonna line the outside of it with this. And that's again because any material that touches this, it's able to slide right by. It doesn't connect to the frame. If we didn't use these, once one of these end stone blocks or any block came in contact with this, it would then think that it's part of this frame. And it would make the machine stick. If your machine's ever not moving, it's either you don't have your frame motors positioned correctly, or you have something that's not meant to be part of the frame connected to it because you don't have the covers done correctly. We'll show an example of that once we get this going. So almost done there. Now the reason I extended this over one more is just so I don't have to waste time with putting covers on everything in the frame, because these will never come in contact, none of this, with anything else. If you're doing this not in a Hermitcraft age, or you have water or lava or anything, any type of block, it will think that it's part of this. Gravel that falls down, anything. So anyway, this is good to start going. The final things that we need if you want to chunk load it, which of course is important if you're going to have this running while you're not in the area, but is also going to be an ender chest. And I think I can just set the ender chest just like that. And oh, one other important thing too is going to be, just get all this ready, is we have to have a timer to pulsate this going on down here. So let's just grab those final things. And let's see here. So here I'm going to have, where's that stuff? Here we go. You need the jacked wire to connect to this. So let's do a jacked wire right there. Let's have the marble panel here. Then to make that connect, you put on the alloy wire, then it connects in. And let's have our timer. This one I'm going to, set that down, boom, and again have that so it's facing it. And notice when it goes around, it lights it up. That's making all those block breakers go active. This one I like to set, if I can freaking touch it, there we go. This one I usually set just under a second. So so there's 1 second, there we go, just under a second. That should be fast enough. If you need to adjust the speed differently, you can, of course. It's no biggie. And I think that's everything. Oh, let's just put a lever here so that we can turn that on and off. You don't want to have timers going if you don't have to. And we can later connect this in so that you can use wireless so that from your base you can turn this on and off as needed. So anyway, this is working. I already have this chest hooked up. It's the same color scheme that I've been using. Let's turn this on and see how it works. That should be all a-okay. So is it going to move? It's moving! Oh my god. Oh, you know what? Did I do the bottom? Yep, I did the bottom. Awesome! That is freaking awesome. I love these things. Is it getting stuck? Nope. It's working all good. So that is how you make a frame motor tunnel borer. And this is the easy way because you can use solar power. And again, the best way would have been to submerge this so that we had the minimal amount of wasted block breakers in place. But if you also had an aged trees or just anything, you have to build it up just a little bit. So that's pretty cool. And our chest, it's taken in all the end stone just fine. You could also extend this down super duper far. I'm not really sure what the maximum size is, but this may be able to go even all the way to bedrock. That's something I haven't tested yet, but we'll have to test. But yeah, guys, that's this in a nutshell. I think it's going to conclude the episode. Pretty simple. Really doesn't take a lot of time. More time probably was wasted from goofing around or doing silly things. But anyway, I had a question for you before we left for today. I wanted to know what you guys would think about me starting a single player world in Feed the Beast, and this would be only temporary while we're waiting for the server to reset. I think everyone said we're not going to reset this server until the 1.6 mod packs come out, which is kind of disappointing. I wouldn't mind even resetting now, but I thought in the meantime, just so it wouldn't replace the series, it would just be an additional thing that I'd add in so that we could, you know, learn a lot of the new mods and keep up to date with everything, because we are pretty dated here on this server. And I know there's still a lot of stuff we got to do, but let me know what you think. And if you do think that's something you'd like, suggestions of what mod pack that I should use in the series, we'll discuss this more next episode. And let me know what you think about these frame motors. If you like watching it, we could definitely get into more red power things. I really do enjoy this mod quite a bit and just haven't taken advantage of it much. But yeah, guys, as always, comment, like, subscribe. Those thumbs up really do help get me better noticed on YouTube for my Minecraft. So if you enjoyed the episode, please do give a thumbs up. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace out.